So, back to my case. In early 2013, uh, my truck was starting to get old. It was about 5 years old and starting to have some issues. The warranty had already run out on it. It's a 2008 Chevrolet. It's one of the toughest vehicles I've had. Um, really second only to a Nissan, which, I've had four Nissans, and I can't count the amount of Chevrolets I've had, but a Nissan and Chevrolet are some of the toughest vehicles I've ever had, except for this Nissan. I had an 87 hard body pickup, full drive automatic, and it was almost bulletproof. I could not kill it. I couldn't tear it up. The only problem I ever had out of it was I had a rear main seal go bad in the automatic transmission. Other than that, man, I went off road and just tried to tear it up. I got to the point to where I didn't even have to have it, and I wanted to see exactly how tough it was. And it just seemed like it would take on anything I could throw at it, which was, part of my reasoning behind going back with a Nissan. I also had a 92 Pathfinder, and it was a V6 four-wheel drive standard, and it was the same body style as the 87 pickup, and I really liked it. And when I got to looking for another vehicle, my grandmother told me she wouldn't help me out unless I went and got a brand new one. And I'd always liked the Xterras because they look kind of like the 92 Pathfinders. So I got to looking around and seeing who all you could get a standard transmission through. And believe it or not, Nissan and Dodge are the only companies you can get a standard transmission in a truck or SUV now. Well, they're the only ones that I found. Toyota does offer a standard transmission in the smaller truck, but when I went to talk to them, as soon as I said something about standard transmission, they dropped the conversation. They didn't want to talk to me anymore because they knew it had to be special ordered. But in early 2013, I went and special ordered a Nissan Xterra Pro 4X version. It has the off-road skid plates, off-road package, electronic locking rear differential, the off-road lights on top of it, whole 9 yards. Top of the line vehicle. This is pretty close to what I paid for mine. This is just on Nissan's website, a 2015. $30,000 base. By the time you add a tow package and the cargo cover and the floor mats actually came in mine, it was right around $33,000. So here is the people I actually bought the vehicle off of. Oh wow, they give you $250. They got to do something to get vehicles to get customers because everybody I've heard of has had trouble with them. This is Trotter Nissan. They're located in El Dorado. They have an excellent sales team, but their service department sucks. There's just no other way to put it. Really, the only way to describe them is just you can depend on not having any service on your vehicle. Also, on top of the $33,000, I bought a $3,000 service contract. Supposed to extend the warranty for another 40,000 miles. So instead of a 60,000 mile believe it was 5 year, 60,000 mile warranty. I actually got a 5 year, 100,000 mile or 7 year, 100,000 mile warranty. But before my first oil change, I had a CV axle break, and due to the CV axle breaking, I was actually stranded out in the middle of nowhere and had to walk 3 miles to even have service to call someone to come get me, and had to stand there in, shorts and a sleeveless shirt on a 30-degree night. Um, uh, like I said, the CV axle broke, and wasn't the best of roads, but it was a gravel road. Around here, people call them oil well roads. Where I'm from, they're just called gravel roads or back roads. I went to one of my cousins' promotional four-wheeler rides, as he puts it. He promotes four-wheeler rides for people that want to go get a bunch of people out and get a bunch of people together. Kind of just a social event. And there's some drinking involved, anything like that. Well, on my way home, I pulled out of the deer camp went the wrong way, and the first little puddle I hit turned out to have a sand bottom, and because I did not have four-wheel drive and did not know it, I got stuck. It's four-wheel drive. You would expect it not to break that soon. So after 3 days of going back out there and trying to get it out, taking a 89 K5 Blazer on 39.5-inch Super Swamper boggers out there, and basically trying to use the height of the Blazer as leverage to suck the Xterra out. We tried several things and nothing really seemed to work. If any of you are watching this and don't know, you can get just about anything stuck on wet sand. It's real easy. If you ever get started going down, you're probably going to be there unless you have more traction than weight, which Nissan Xterra, they're pretty good, but they're only one-wheel drive. You have an open differential. You have to put it in 4-low to even lock the rear differential, which is also something I don't agree with. I like Chevrolet's idea where it locks on its own, but I didn't know any of this until after I bought the vehicle. So after 3 days of going back out there, I finally got an old man to help me, and he gave me a pretty decent idea. I had to take a 12-ton come along and a stack of tires already mounted on wheels, and he said stack them behind the vehicle and set your come along on top of them and go just about as straight down as you can to the hitch of your Xterra, and hook a chain to the other side to where there's no slack in it, to whatever solid you can hook to. He said do that, and then take your truck and pull on it at the same time. Have someone in your truck pulling on it while you're jacking up on the come along, and basically you're just lifting the vehicle straight up, and the truck is actually pulling at the same time, trying to pull it out. So got it out and got it to the house, and I do mechanic work myself for my friends some of the time, and I know exactly how frustrating it is to be underneath a vehicle and bump something or drop a wrench or just tap something the wrong way and just a big wad of dust falling right in your eyes or on your clothes or whatever, So I get to clean it out underneath it, and I'm not trying to hide anything, but I'm trying to make it trying to show a little bit of courtesy for the guy that's going to be working on it. I cleaned it out fairly well. Like I said, I wasn't trying to hide anything. There was still some mud on top of the skid plates, which it's a four-wheel drive. Who buys a four-wheel drive and doesn't take it in the mud at all? There's very rarely anybody that does that. Anyways, I have to have it towed up to the vehicle. I have to have the vehicle towed up to the Nissan dealership because apparently Nissan transmissions are no longer sealed. Because it sat stuck, I guess water seeped into the clutch, the bell housing, and messed the clutch up. It caused the clutch to come apart. So I had to have the vehicle towed up there. Well, I knew that the clutch was out of it before I had it towed up there, and I wanted to see what they was going to say about the CV axle. Well, the reason why I say I'm boycotting Trotter Nissan is for this simple reason. They put a new CV axle in it. They said they would not cover it. They said it wasn't a typical brake, which, I knew that. They said it looked like the CV axle just kind of rolled apart, which, I figured that because there wasn't any pop or anything like that. It was just, you're driving along and all of a sudden you get stuck because four-wheel drive is no longer working. It's not a fun situation to be in. So they refused to cover that under warranty, even though the vehicle only has 2,500 miles on it. It's a little bit irritating, and I asked why, and the lady told me, well, you can talk to the mechanic if you want to. And I went and talked to the mechanic, and come to find out it was the kid that actually put on the four-wheel ride, and he point blank said that I'm not gonna fix it under warranty because it doesn't pay that much. I saw your vehicle out there on the four-wheeler ride. I saw it stuck. Da 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 da. Or you're gonna have to pay me to fix it. Basically, what he said. Seemed to me like he was being a little bit greedy about it. Anyways, I told him, okay, whatever, go ahead and fix it. Well, about a week went by and they called me back and told me they had it fixed. And they told me they had it fixed. I want to make that clear, that they told me they had it fixed. But there was more problems. They said the front differential is stripped out and the clutch is bad. That they was going to have to pull the transmission, or that they just said they was going to have to pull the transmission and see what was going on inside of it, which I knew the clutch was bad. I said, all right, well, how much is a CV axle going to be? They told me $700 and something. And like I said, this is the reason why I will not ever buy another vehicle from Trotter Nissan. And this is the reason why I avoid Trotter Nissan at all costs. They told me that the vehicle was put back together and that I owed $700 and something on it. And I told them, okay, well, I'll be up there Friday after I get off work. Well, Friday at 2:30 rolls around and my boss comes around at the last minute and says, hey, you got to work over till 6 o'clock. Okay, no big deal. I called my grandma, sent her up there to pay for it. She didn't tell me how much it was or anything like that. After I got home, after they had already got the money, she told me she went and paid for it, and I asked her how much it was, and I told her beforehand, if they asked for more than what I told her it was, do not pay for it. Well, after she had already paid for it, and I had talked to them about how much fixing the front differential was going to be, they said they needed $2,400 to even begin on it. And I told my grandmother that, and she said, well, they charged her $1,080 for the CV axle. So that is my principal reason why I will not deal with Trotter Nissan ever again, is because they told me $700 and something, and when my grandmother got up there, they charged her over $1,000 for a CV axle. That is not right by any means. I see that as them trying to take advantage of an old lady. So, at this point, I don't really know what to think about Trotter Nissan. So, I pulled my vehicle out of their shop, and I took it to a local mechanic that I trusted. And I had him replace the front differential, and it cost me about $1,500. And that was the official Nissan part plus $200 in labor just to stick it in there and put it in. The transmission, I think, I had to have a clutch. I had to have the flywheel honed or something like that. Anyways, it was about $1,500 after I got through with it. So, new vehicle, stuff breaks, and it cost me $4,000 to $5,000 to fix. One other thing I forgot is whenever I actually went up there to get the vehicle towed away from the Nissan dealership, Trotter Nissan, the first time I went up there, I hadn't called the wrecker yet, and it was supposedly done. It was finished. Well, I looked inside the vehicle, and the steering column was torn apart on it. All the plastic pieces were off of it. Stuff was hanging off. I stuck my key in it, turned the key on. Well, everything lit up like it was supposed to, but the vehicle would not start. So I went in the dealership and asked them what the deal was, and they said, oh, well, it's a factory recall on something, and we had to put a new one in. Well, number one, whatever the factory recall was, mine was not messed up. I had absolutely no problems with the vehicle before this, whatever it was they replaced. And now I do not have the half the controls on my steering column do not work. And for fear of being charged another $1,000 for them to do nothing, I have not taken it back to Trotter Nissan.